Congratulations to Alabama for winning the SEC. Yeah, congratulations, Alabama. You have the best team in the SEC this year, probably the best team in the country. Kirby Smart losing to Alabama is no shame in that. This year, there is shame. I'm going to be real with you. This Georgia team, from weeks 1 to week to coming into this week, looked like the best team in the country. Alabama looked like the second or third best team in the country this year coming into this game. So I do believe there is kind of a shame in that. But Nick Saban is the GOAT. So I see what you're saying there. But this is a tough loss. This is a pretty tough loss, and there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I'm a Gators fan. Georgia's a really good team despite the loss. Saban got the best of them. Saban always does. It's hard to beat Saban. Kirby Smart's formula is not meant to beat Saban. I don't know what else there is to say on that. Let me get my water real quick. My throat's really dry. The Oklahoma State loss turns out to be a huge reason why UGA will get in the playoffs. Yeah, it could be. 1980. Yep. Hashtag 1980. Another year. Feel bad for you Georgia fans. You guys deserve better than this. I wouldn't feel bad at all. Georgia's a top 5 team every year. There's no shame in that. We all want to break the barrier and win a national title, but you're not going to win a national title playing like that. That just is what it is. Bama is great. Just face the facts. Yeah, I've said this multiple times. Bryce Young is smart, mobile, and has the best arm at his level. No shame in losing to Bama and Bryce Young. Bryce Young played the best game of his life today. He played absolutely out of his mind. He had 421 yards passing, 40 yards rushing. He had a rushing touchdown, right? I think he did. He had how many passing touchdowns? 4. So it just so hats off to him. But his offensive line really deserves a lot more credit. UGA got beat down. Yep. Now this is an overreaction. Kirby Smart and Stetson Bennett need to go. An overreaction. Kirby Smart gets you top 3 recruiting classes year in, year out. He finishes top 5 almost every year. His worst season in the past 4 years was last year when UGA won the Peach Bowl and finished top 7. How many other coaches do you know other than Nick Saban and Dabo Swinney are doing that for you in your program? And maybe even go ahead and throw in Ryan Day or Urban Meyer for Ohio State. Georgia is at worst the 3rd best program in college football right now. They just are. Georgia's not dropping out of the playoffs. Just stop that BS. I don't think they will, but the committee ceases to amaze me. Sorry, I was trolling earlier, but for real, who would you rather play, Michigan or Notre Dame? Either. I just want Georgia to make the playoffs. Whoever Georgia plays, I will obviously be rooting for UGA, but it doesn't matter to me. I don't think Notre Dame's making the playoffs. I think Georgia has a good shot against both those teams. I don't really think either team would beat UGA. 4 best by criteria conference champions are only a tiebreaker if teams are comparable. Yeah, if you want the 4 best teams, Georgia is by far one of the 4 best teams. So there's that. Just getting through the rest of these comments. Oh, man, I missed a lot. My bad. I'm way behind. I see some funny ones. Georgia would win a national title if they had a coach who knew what he was doing. Good grief. Overreaction. I mean, you just played the best team in the country. Now this, Georgia, I hear this all the time, and I really, really, really have Kirby Smart's back. But it really is hard year in, year out losing games like this. Losing games exactly like this because your quarterback is not good enough or because your defense doesn't have enough gas to push you through. It's really, really, really hard in 2021 relying on defense to win you a national title against a team like Alabama whose MO is to score and score at will. And turnover and flip that as well. Alabama's defensive talent is as good as yours, maybe a little bit less, maybe a little bit better. But they have a really good defensive coordinator too, Golding, and they're top 15 defensively. So, but on paper, these are the two best teams in the country. They just are. Georgia came in scoring 40.6 points per game, giving up 6.9. Bama was scoring 42.7 points per game, giving up 19. Other teams close to that, Ohio State, I think, was close to that, scoring 45 and giving up 23 or 24. Cincinnati's stats are kind of skewed because they do not play up to the potential that they should be playing because they are in the AAC. Mark Richt was not doing this. Mark Richt was not getting to the SEC title every year. Now, in his first 6 or 7 years, he had a lot of success, just wasn't getting it done at that level. But he wasn't getting Georgia to a national championship quality every year, a quality team every year, especially his last 5 years. So Kirby Smart is better than Mark Richt. Georgia would be mediocre with Kirby. I think you mean without, but it is what it is. I missed a lot of comments. I'm trying to get through them. What's so freaking hard about developing QB talents? Fields, Daniels, Beck, Vandergriff, and Nick Stockman all going to be wasted. I don't know what it is. I really don't. Wow, Michigan's already on a 3-and-out against Iowa. This game's going to be boring. Cincinnati suck. No, Cincinnati's actually a good team. Cincinnati doesn't play the toughest schedule. In fact, they play a very lackluster schedule at best. They played 2 ranked teams this year. Their best win was at Notre Dame, which is a really good win. But still, I don't understand how the committee can put them top 3. In years past, a team like Cincinnati with that resume would probably be at number 7. So, but hey, it is what it is. Roll Tide. Hey, congratulations, Philip. You guys were the better team today. You are clearly better than Georgia, especially today. Kirby Smart has fetishes for Stetson. I don't know why. I really was surprised that JT Daniels didn't come in. 24-0 in second quarter, no timeouts. Yeah, no timeouts were used in the second quarter. That's another thing. If watching Kirby Smart and Dan Lanning, the defense was kind of confused. If you know that your defense is kind of confused and frustrated with some of the calls and some of the alignment, then why wouldn't you call a timeout? That's another thing I didn't really talk about. But hey, but go into the third quarter and even into the fourth quarter, the defense played really. The defense 3 out of 4 quarters played really well, especially for UGA standards. I thought they played really, really well. Guys, we just played the best offensive team in the country. I knew I was kind of being biased when I made my prediction earlier. I think I said 34-13 or 27-10. I was really, really relying on Georgia's defense. You can't do that in these games against Alabama. You just can't. But Cincinnati is above. So we're going to talk about Cincinnati now. Cincinnati is above average. They aren't great, and we're very lucky. Yeah, Notre Dame made a lot of mistakes. They had 4 turnovers in that game. 3 of them were in the red zone. 3 of them were in the red zone. Just think about that. Notre Dame just left off 17 points, at least 9, but really 17 points off the board, maybe even then some against Cincinnati. But Notre Dame is not as good as advertised. Their schedule, and somebody in here earlier said Notre Dame should be in over Georgia, which would make no sense. It's all about the QB. How do you think Bama wins every time? He wins with great quarterback play. No, he wins with elite quarterback play. The years in which game managers matter are pretty much over, except Michigan if they win this game, which right now Iowa is somehow driving on Michigan as we speak. I have the TV right in front of me. But Michigan has a game manager quarterback. Cincinnati I wouldn't really consider him a game managing quarterback. That's got to be pass interference. Yeah. But Desmond Ridder manages the game well for the most part. And then you have Georgia. So you could have 3 out of 4 of the teams being Bryce Burrow, being offensive. Oh, I can't even talk. Quarterbacks being game managers for the most part. But this is a funny comment. Where did it go? Bryce Burrow showed out. Yeah, Bryce Young is really, really good. I had Baylor at 4 if Michigan loses. If Michigan loses, this is chaos. I'd bet $1,000 that JT Daniels doesn't play a snap for UGA. Or $1 million. You're right. Hey, you probably are onto something there. Notre Dame's schedule sucks, but when it's good, all I hear about is the eye test and how teams are playing in November. Indy passes the eye test and destroyed November. Notre Dame had a really good November. They played every game that they played were complete dominations. But again, if you want to make it to the playoffs, I really feel like unless you go 12-0, you should be playing a 13th game. And has Notre Dame looked like a top 4 team to you guys this year? I'm just asking a question.